Hello, hello. We're about to be back racing. Just waiting for everyone to get back in the lobby after the previous lobby decided to break on us. It wasn't my stream crashing this time. It wasn't my game crashing. It was the the lobby just didn't work. So, hallelujah. But we are back. I think we're going to get underway pretty soon. I believe that is everyone in, so fingers crossed. Yeah, good luck, Rick. You got some good pace in Austria, so you never know. Yeah, it looks like we are off, so let's get underway for the Austrian Grand Prix. We've had the sprint. It's time for the Grand Prix. 50% race around Austria. Should be good fun. And Speed Alcoholic and Nath Clark on the front row. It will be after Nath Clark's absolutely phenomenal sprint race where he came from 17th on the grid all the way up to 2nd in just 12 laps. It was fewer than that actually, it's more like 10 laps. So him and Speed, I believe, are a class above the rest of the field, and I hope we see them duke it out for the race win. Top 8 in all races so far. Well, that is a fantastic run of form. Hopefully you can keep it up. Just waiting to get underway. Remember, no formation lap. We will get into it, and yeah, Rick has just reminded me. Yeah, no formation lap, so we will be getting straight into the action, and 30 seconds to go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're about to get underway for the Austrian Grand Prix in ESRL. Here we go. 3, 4, 5. Red lights. And we're underway for the Austrian Grand Prix. It was a long hold, but Speed with a fantastic start, and Robinet round the outside of Nath Clark as well. They go side by side into turn one. Nath Clark jumps over the curb, but manages to keep the position. And now Robinet is vulnerable to Lostock just behind, and they're going to go 3 wide into turn 3, 4 wide into turn 3 as Rick tries to make it down the inside, but to no avail as Nath Clark breaks extremely late into turn 3, but keeps the position, so it was worth it. Lostock still in P4, Rick P5, and the position changes up. Everyone in the top 5 keeping position, except now because Rick going round the outside at turn 4 of Lostock, but he's unable to make the position. And Amir with a good start, but Rick goes down the inside at turn 5 now. What a move from the Dutchman, and he is up to P4 now as Lostock loses out. Amir up to P6, good start for him. Aces, Tibor and Myra with great starts as well. Remember, and Avi as well. Remember, Avi got disqualified from the start of the sprint race, and Myra got a drive through for a jump start. So those two I'm sure will make steady progress up the grid as the race goes on. Speed sets the fastest lap, so he now already has a 1.9 second gap to Nath Clark, as that's Trugster off at turn 1, made a mistake and into the wall. I hope he doesn't have rear wing damage. I can check. Does he have rear wing damage? No, he doesn't. He's fine. So oh, actually no, I can't tell because he doesn't have the telemetry on, so I don't know. He may still have rear wing damage. Lostock right behind Rick still as they go in towards turn 4, and Amir's trying to make up positions as well in the Mercedes. Up 2 to P6, and Myra up 4 to P8. Tibor and Aces with fantastic starts as well, but it's all about speed. 1.8, 1.9 seconds is the gap. Robinet has broken free of Rick as well, so AlphaTauri looking really strong here to cut deep into that Constructors' Championship lead that Ferrari have, as Rick goes very wide at the penultimate corner, and that's going to open the door for Lostock possibly in towards turn 1. Here they go. Is Lostock going to try and make the move? Doesn't look like it. No, nothing from the Aston Martin yet. But DRS now enabled, so Rick's going to be vulnerable on the run to turn 4. Lostock with a bit of a squirrely exit from turn 1, which could compromise him as they go on the run to turn 4, and he's unable to make the move, but he didn't use any ERS to be fair. So he's just waiting for the right opportunity, as Rick is using his ERS, but only a little bit, only as much as he needs to do to defend. Gotten a lot better at his ERS usage over the years, has the Dutchman. Through turn 4 he goes. Amir still right behind them. We've got a very, very long train to P4 here. Rick, it's all aboard the Rick train, as we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars in the Rick train at the moment for P4. Robinet has broken clear. 1.4 seconds is the gap there, but unable to catch the top 2. And Speed sets the fastest lap again as Rick goes very deep again at the final corner, but Lostock, I think, followed him wide of the exit. So Lostock unable to take advantage, but now he's going to have the DRS. He's using that overtake button. Here he goes, because he knows that he's going to be vulnerable to Amir if he doesn't make the overtake. Here comes the Aston Martin down the inside into turn 4 he goes. We've got a spinner, that's Zuber at turn 1. Both Red Bulls now spinning at turn 1, but Rick defends well, and Lostock has to stay in P5 for now, and as Amir was compromised there by the two of them battling, is vulnerable to Womack up to turn 4, but the Bulgarian doesn't make the move, and now Myra is in the mix in the Alfa Romeo after the drive-through in this sprint race. The Finn will be hoping to make amends here in the main race and perhaps get themselves into the top 5 early on in this race. Lostock still following behind. The Rick train has decreased in length as Thibaut has dropped off as Rick goes wide yet again at the penultimate corner. I don't know how he's not picking up warnings, to be honest. He's obviously slowing down just enough that the game lets it go. Very lenient, I must say, and he is catching back up to Robinet. 1.2 is the gap. It's not far away, but if these two battle, then obviously it's going to be harder to catch the AlphaTauri. Maybe that's why Lostock isn't pushing as hard as you might expect to make this move, because he knows that if he sticks with Rick, then he's going to have a chance at Robinet later on. And indeed, only uses a little bit of ERS and doesn't make the move. Just tries to fool Rick into a defence, but the Dutchman is unmoved by that threat. And 1.1 seconds is the gap. Robinet is in big trouble here now, down to past under a second as Aces and Thibaut go side by side through turn 5. Aces making that move. Or defending, but he goes wide, very wide through turn 6, and he's lost 2 positions there as Ayrton DTS gets his way through up to P10 as well. So a costly mistake there by the Ferrari driver. As Rick now is in DRS range of Robinet, so Robinet is now in trouble from the Alfa Romeo, and Rick could get himself in podium contention here as Robinet's pace has dropped off, and now Amir is going to challenge Lostock, which is going to give Rick a welcome break as well. The Mercedes down the inside and forces the Aston Martin wide, which is going to force him on the yellow curb, and that's going to lose him another 2 positions. So 3 positions in 1 corner lost for the Aston Martin. He is going to be fuming about that one as Myra looks to follow Womack through. Ayrton DTS a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Neil. I'm not sure what happened there, but Amir, all that battling has meant they've dropped off the back of Rick, so the Dutchman has a big gap, and we've got a virtual safety car, so that gives me an opportunity to change this and look at the tyres. So Nath Clark on the hards, that explains why he is not able to keep up with speed. He has started on the hard tyres, so he's going to be on the mediums and faster later in theory, but from experience there's not that much difference between the hards and the mediums on this circuit, so an interesting battle for the race lead could be unfolding. As, I don't know when the virtual is going to end. Avi and Aces have taken the opportunity to come into the pits. They started on the hard, so it's an odd decision. Maybe they're going medium and then to soft at the end. Yeah, taking advantage of the virtual safety car for a less costly pit stop. I do wonder when it's going to end. Is anyone going to gain from catching anyone sleeping at the virtual safety car restart? I think we might get underway pretty soon by the looks of them speeding up through there, but no, they've slowed back down again, so I'm not sure what is going on here. And yeah, still holding this train up. The Mercedes up to P5, and there we go, green flags. No one gets a drive through, thank goodness. DRS back enabled. Rick is still in the wheel tracks of Robinet, so no one's caught anyone out, at least in the top 8. But Nath Clark actually has caught out speed, because that gap has come down by quite significantly, a few tenths there. So a bit of a what could be an important gain for Nath Clark later in the Grand Prix. Womack here still trying to keep on board with Amir, but Myra leads out at turn 1 there actually. I think Womack's used some ERS to get rid of the Alfa Romeo on the run to turn 3, but Myra content with just sitting behind in this train for now and waiting for a better opportunity. It's a very good recovery so far from the Finnish driver, nearly going into the back of Womack there at turn 4. As Robinet now 3 seconds behind the top 2, and Rick is right behind them, but look at this, Amir has closed up. Now it's under 1 second is the gap, so Amir is now in this fight, and Amir drags all of the rest of the train behind him into the fight as well. This is fascinating stuff as Rick goes deep in the penultimate corner yet again. Up to the final corner now. He did lose some time from doing that, so it's fair enough that he's not getting penalties for it. DRS open to the run to turn 1, and he's going to have a really good run here at Robinet, I think. If he can nail turn 1, but it doesn't look like he did nail turn 1, and indeed unable to really make any inroads on the AlphaTauri. Up to turn 3, nearly goes into the back of Robinet. I think there was a tiny bit of contact there, but nothing to unsettle the AlphaTauri, thankfully. As Womack's still in the wheel tracks of Amir, who is now out of ERS. You can see that flashing red light on the back of the Mercedes. Womack will certainly see it, and he'll know that Amir is going to be vulnerable on the straight. I think that's Ted has gone for a spin at turn 3. That's unfortunate for him. As Avi and Aces swap places further back. Avi making slow progress up the field, but only up to P13. Oh yeah, because Avi pitted, of course. That's my fault. As the yellow flag is gone through sector 2, we're back underway as Myra right behind Womack through those 2 last corners. Look at this massive train of cars for P3 as Rick has now fallen slightly off of the back of Robinet. A good turn of pace by the AlphaTauri. Is there DRS? No DRS for the Dutchman, so it's a hugely important turn of pace for Robinet, but Womack is fighting Amir into turn 3, unsurprisingly with the ERS difference, a bit of contact between them, and now Womack back through with the switchback, but Amir gets the better exit, and I think Womack is going to have to live to fight another day, or is he going to go for it down the inside at turn 4? No, he sits back and waits, and now Myra is going to look for an opportunity, but nothing presents itself. Womack keeping the line well, and Lostock is still in this battle as well. Don't forget about him. He is just sitting at the back waiting for something to happen. As Ted retires in the pit lane, waiting for something to happen. If you get that reference, I love you. Amir on the back of Rick, who makes another mistake, it looked like. I think was very wide, and that could have been a warning on the final corner there. That was definitely over the... well, not definitely, but it looked like it was over the white line with all 4 wheels. Womack still in the wheel tracks of Amir, still with the ERS advantage, but the advantage is dwindling, and Myra has a massive advantage over both of them in terms of the level of battery left. Nearly goes into the back of the Bulgarian, but keeps it round the outside through turn 3. Great stuff from Myra, and this could be move done as they go on the run to turn 4. Womack will defend. Here they go by side into turn 4. What a camera view this is, as Myra all the way around the outside keeps it in. Womack is trying to get back, and Womack does get back. A much better exit, and Myra has to settle back to P7. Brilliant defense from the Bulgarian to keep Myra behind. And as you were, as everyone keeps filing through, Rick has caught back up to Robinet, so that gap that the Frenchman pulled was temporary. And this train for P3 continues. This is fantastic. 7 seconds to the top 2, who, by the way, Nath Clark is catching speed. I've been concentrating on this battle for the podium, but we've got to keep an eye on the race leaders, because those mediums are starting to maybe become the worst tyre, it seems, as Nath Clark catches back up and is now within a second of the race leader. So I've got to keep an eye on two things here as Womack and Myra go side by side once again. Myra trying to make the move, knows that they have the bigger ERS advantage, but it's gone. Myra's gone out of turn 4, and that's front wing damage as well. Nearly rejoins really dangerously. Thibaut does well to avoid the Alfa Romeo, but it's disaster for the Finnish driver, who will be absolutely furious after all that work. Now back down to P10 with a broken front wing, and wow, that is infuriating for the Finn. As Amir has gotten past Rick in the carnage. I was too focused on Myra spinning out that I didn't fail to notice that Amir has gotten past Rick and is now in the real tracks of Robinet. So the Season 1 ESRL champion is looking for what I think it would be his first podium of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So he is definitely going to be desperate for that. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's been on the podium yet this season, but if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments, as Rick goes nearly into the back of the Mercedes there at turn 1 and loses out to Womack as a result, but they are going to be side by side, and I think Rick has the advantage in battery. Yes, he does, so Womack has to settle back for P6, but a big mistake from Rick there, gets away with it, luckily for him. He is still stuck in P5 at the moment. Nath Clark right in the wheel tracks of speed, by the way. We've got this battle for the lead now. Nath Clark has been slowly chipping away at this gap, and now the hard tyres have come alive, and he's going to make the move into turn 1. Possibly, no, he turns off his DRS to make sure that he can make the move into turn 4. Here he goes. He gets a good exit. Sorry, turn 3. Good exit for the championship challenger, but he doesn't press the overtake button. He's not going to go for it properly. He does go round the outside though, and Speed fights him. Side by side they go for the race lead. Here they go. Nath Clark is going to have the DRS on the run to turn 4. I don't think Speed is going to be able to fight this. He does have the ERS in the tank to do it, but no, Nath Clark up to P1, and Speed now, his objective has changed to just stay in the wheel tracks of that Williams, as Robinet is up to P3. Amir and Rick, Womack and Rick side by side. Womack's down the inside. Great move by the Aston Martin driver. Rick down to P6 as he stays in this train, but they've got to be careful not to lose sight of Amir and Robinet at the front, because if they lose that DRS, then it could be difficult to get back in range, since Amir has the DRS from the AlphaTauri, so they've got to be careful. Speed Alcoholic is already 7/10 down on Nath Clark, so he's really got to work hard to stay in the DRS, but I think those medium tyres are starting to fall away, as Amir right in the wheel tracks of Robinet looking to overtake for P3. Trugster with the first track limits penalty of the day, as Speed loses out massively. Look at that, lost 2 or 3 tenths through turn 3 there, as Amir still right behind Robinet, unable to make the move quite yet. DRS open, and again, I don't think he's close enough to make this move. Good exit for Robinet through out of turn 3, and yeah, Amir too far off to make the move. And Womack staying within that 1 second, but no, goes deep. Maybe, I think, maybe a bit of a lock-up for the Aston Martin. Lost a couple of tenths. Got to work hard to stay within that 1 second range and drag Rick and Lostock along with him. But Amir is looking very quick right now. Speed has managed to stay in 1 second range for another lap, but when are we going to see the first pit stops, I wonder, as Amir looks to the inside there just to try and scare Robinet off his normal line. Had no intention of making an overtake there. There's the first pit stop. It is the Dutchman Rick in for an undercut. He's going to go onto the hard tyres. They are going to take a long time to warm up, but he's going to hope that he can utilize them and get the undercut while all of his rivals on track are battling. And here comes Amir. Talking of battling, he's going to go down the inside up to turn 3. ERS used side by side, hit the apex, and it's a great move from the Mercedes driver, and he's going to have DRS up to turn 4. Robinet has nothing to defend against Womack with and could be vulnerable to the Aston Martin as well, but Womack has no ERS to fight. And Robin keeps that position there, but Amir up to P3. It's brilliant stuff from the Mercedes driver, the Season 1 champion of ESRL, looking to get back in form with a podium. Let's have a quick look at position change. Yeah, Amir up 5, so brilliant for him. Speed Alcoholic is now into the pits, so he's looking to get that undercut as well. He did really fall away from Nath Clark there before he came in, I think, so could be an inspired decision perhaps for the AlphaTauri. A little bit of an early pit stop from the mediums, but maybe I think this is just about coming in range of pit stops now. I think Rick was early, but everyone else I think is within range. Rick has come up just behind Avi, who's not going to let him through easily. I think Avi's going to... I don't know if Avi and Amir are in a party, but if they are, then Avi's going to know that keeping Rick behind for as long as possible is pretty important at this stage for Amir's race. So he's not going to go down without a fight, but he does have 3% ERS in the tank compared to Rick's 78%. So I don't think he's going to be able to defend for too long, and indeed it won't be here, but the next lap I think Rick will have that position once those hard tyres are properly warmed up. When are we going to see pit stops from these guys? I think Amir's come in, Robinet's coming in, I think that's Womack's in as well. Lostock stays out, the only one to do so, but he obviously doesn't want to double stack with his teammate, so he's going to go one more lap on those mediums. I reckon he'll be in on the next lap. But Nath Clark now free and clear at the front with the hard tyres. He'll be pitting onto the mediums later on, but speed, of course, his only rival in this race at the moment. As we wait and see where Rick is on track. He's just coming down the main straight. We're going to ride on board with the Alfa Romeo because he's going to make this move into turn 1. No, he's not. He's going to stick behind, and that could cost him compared to his rivals on track. Although they're going to have not warmed up hard tyres, so this could be an opportunity for Rick. He does get past Avi before the braking zone, but look how much more grip he's got than these two ahead of him on through turn 3. Look at that. He's closed up so much. And I don't know if he's going to be able to take this opportunity, though, because Robinet with the DRS still very close to Amir. And unless he can get the switch back through here, he knows they're going to have cold tyres. And indeed, look at the amount of grip he's got. Down the inside he goes of Robinet on the run to turn 5. It's a fantastic move from the Alfa Romeo up to P6, which is a net P4. Lostock finally comes into the pits. Where's he going to enter and exit the pits in comparison to this lot? He's in now. Is he going to be still on the DRS? Speed sets the fastest lap on those fresh hard tyres, as Rick goes very deep there, trying his best to stay with Amir and maybe make this overtake before those hards are properly warmed up for the Mercedes. Lostock just coming down the pit lane now. Where are the rest of them? There they go. So Lostock is going to stay within DRS, but he's going to be level with Avi as they come out. But Rick makes the move down the inside of Amir up towards turn 3. He's made it stick. Great stuff from Rick. Up to P4 he goes, which is a net P3, and I'm sure he would be absolutely delighted if he can secure a podium today. Robinet trying to challenge Amir as well. This could help Rick out if the Frenchman can mount a challenge on the Mercedes, but I think Amir, once he's got those hards warmed up, which they should be around about now, Rick could be in trouble, because I do think the Season 1 champion has the superior pace just about. It is close from what I've seen in this race so far, but I think he will have the overall race pace advantage on the Dutchman. So Rick is going to have to use every trick in the book to keep a previous champion of ESRL behind. It's not going to be easy at all, as Speed now eats into that gap for Nath Clark. Speed Alcoholic's last lap was a 107.8. Nath Clark's last lap was in 108.1. So he's slowly eking into that gap and just making sure that he can stay ahead when Nath Clark pits. But Amir down the inside now. He makes the move, as I said, into turn 3. And Rick is going to fight him, though. Are either of them going to have DRS? Rick does get the DRS. That's huge for the Dutchman, and Amir's got nothing left in the battery. He needs to make this move. Down the inside he goes. I don't think he's going to do it though. No, he doesn't get the exit he wanted, and he's going to have to stay behind that Alfa Romeo. And Rick, with the 30% more ERS, is in a good position here to keep the Mercedes behind. So Amir, the ERS management just failing him a bit here, and Robinet as well has got much more than him. As Avi hasn't pitted, he has pitted, but he will have to stop again, I would have thought. He's not going to do another 15 laps on those tyres, surely not. Surely not. We will find out. But Amir still right in the wheel tracks of Rick. Looking at the times of the leaders, Nath Clark 108.1, Speed Alcoholic 107.8 again, so it is close as Amir now down the inside again, up towards turn 3. They're side by side once again, but Rick's going to have the DRS again up towards turn 4, and I'm not sure if Amir's going to be able to defend this. Rick onto the grass as Amir tries to defend the inside, but Rick's already made his decision. Down the inside he goes. Amir breaks super late. What a move that would be from the Mercedes if he can pull it off round the outside, but Rick with the ERS keeps the position on the exit. He's got 30% left, Amir on 14%, but these two are going to keep battling. Nath Clark is into the pits. Nath Clark now just about to come out the pits. Where's Speed Alcoholic? I'm looking at the mini-map. Speed's just coming up to turn 1 as Nath Clark's coming out the pits. So Speed's going to be ahead, but Nath Clark on the superior tyre is going to hunt him down now. 1.1 seconds is the gap, and I think Speed is going to have a lot of trouble keeping that Williams behind as the tow finally comes into the pits and the true positions are restored. Rick up to P3 as this train continues for the final podium place as Amir now under pressure from Robinet, who's got superior ERS. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 3. Here they go. Amir has to back out. He has no chance of making that corner otherwise, and Rick stays ahead somehow. Brilliant battling between all of these guys. What wonderful racing we're seeing here. Avi is keeping with them as well, but he is surely going to have to pit again as Rick and Robinet now side by side once again up to turn 4. It's a good move from Robinet, but can he hold it? Rick down the inside. He keeps the position as Robinet tries to switch back through turn 5, but that's not going to work. That only really works if the car ahead of you makes a big mistake, and Rick did not. So Rick continues to lead the 7-car train for P3 as they go into the last few corners. It's Rick, Robinet, then the 2 Mercedes, Avi, it's Amir and Avi, and then the 2 Aston Martins, Lostock and Rumax, who are having a really good race as well, keeping with these guys. Robinet now making the move into turn 1 perhaps. No, he's going to think better of it, and Amir has to be careful not to go into the back of him into turn 1. It's very easy to do. Yellow flags. Oh no, just as I said it, Womax has spun at turn 1. I've clearly cursed him, but we turn back because Robinet down the inside of Rick. I've got to keep an eye on the leaders as well because Speed and Nath Clark are very close together, but Robinet has made the move and Rick is going to have a go into turn 4 again. They're going to be side by side once more. Robinet defends. Rick goes round the outside this time, but Robinet defends really well there, and Rick has to settle behind the AlphaTauri for now. As they've both got similar ERS, but no, Rick down the inside at turn 5. Surely that's not going to work. It was a dive from the Dutchman trying to catch Robinet sleeping, and Robinet was having absolutely none of that. Keeps the position, but we've got to turn our attention to the top 2 as Nath Clark nearly goes into the back of Speed, and that's going to really compromise him on the run to turn 3. I cannot catch my breath. What a race this is, as Nath Clark is now too far behind to make the move, so we turn our attention back to this battle for the podium. 18 seconds behind. That's unbelievable. But Robinet still trying to keep the Dutchman behind. Nath Clark, is he going to be close enough on the run to turn 4? No, he's not. So he turned back as Rick now is going to go down the inside of Robinet. He's got the DRS side by side. These two once again, not for the umpteenth time this race. Rick somehow gets DRS and he's going to keep the position using that. Robinet unable to fight it, but they still are close together, and the Mercedes of Amir is right behind them still, just waiting for something to happen, but nothing is going on. He must be thinking surely they're gonna crash at some point, but no, these two absolutely brilliant so far. All of these drivers, fantastic stuff from them, as Nath Clark Looks to make the move into turn 1. He's not going to do it, though. He's going to wait for turn 4. That's much better. Doesn't go into the back of the AlphaTauri this time. And he's going to have the run up towards turn 3. Or is he? No. Speed, with much more ERS in the tank, manages to keep him behind as Nath Clark goes for the dive bomb into turn 3. He's made it stick. Speed will not be happy about that, but he's made it stick. Nath Clark into the lead of the race. And a surprise dive bomb into turn 3, but he made it stick. Speed Alcoholic down to P2, and I don't think he's going to fight that now as Rick and Robinet look to go side by side once again, but nothing this time through turn 3. Robinet waiting for turn 4, but doesn't get the exit that he wanted. And is he going to be close enough to make this move? Here comes the overspeed. He's going to go down the inside. He didn't intend to, but he has done it. Side by side they go. A little bit of contact between them, but a bit of a... I think Robinet surprised himself more than he surprised Rick with that move. But Rick managing to keep the position for now. These 5 cars all battling tooth and nail for the podium here. Nath Clark sets the fastest lap, unsurprisingly, and he is now looking to... put the icing on the cake for this race, as it were. As no, Rick gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. It was coming, you have to say. We've seen him go wide so many times. There's no way he would have escaped all of those without a warning. But that is going to drop him all the way to P7. He is going to be furious. I know him well. He will be absolutely beside himself in that cockpit that he got that penalty, because he knows this was his huge big chance for a podium finish, his first ESRL podium finish this season, as Lostock and Avi go side by side now. Avi really struggling on those medium tyres. Surely by this point they're going to continue to go side by side as Avi brakes late, but no grip on those tyres, and he is down to P7. And I wonder when we're going to see him pit for the softs, because he's no way is he going to make it to the end. Nath Clark sets fastest lap once again, a 106.9. I think Speed Alcoholic has sensibly given up the fight. Those hard tyres, no match for Nath Clark's fresh mediums, and that surprise dive bomb from the now race leader really working to his advantage. He knew he had to get past before the mediums got bad. He knew that Speed had a lot of ERS in the tank, so he made the move. Very, very risky considering he's fighting for a championship, but he made it stick, and he is on his way to winning this race now, as Avi does come in for the softs just as I say it, and he's going to be looking to fight his way back up now. He's come out in P14, just behind Wumax, and I will keep an eye on his progress as well. Robinet still right behind the Alfa Romeo of Rick. We've got another spin. Is that Myra further back? No, it's Scott. Scott's gone into the wall at turn 3. He's going to be gutted with that. Myra up to P13, and that promotes Avi to P12, and all these other guys up a position as well. But we've got to turn our attention to these cars, these 5 cars. Absolutely phenomenal racing from these guys all race long. It's been incredible to watch, and there's still 9 laps to go, believe it or not. Robinet still right behind Rick, and he sees the flashing red light on the back of the Alfa Romeo. He knows that Rick is vulnerable now, and he uses the overtake. He knows there's nothing left in that Alfa Romeo. Here comes Robinet down the inside in towards turn 3. He's going to make the move side by side once again, these two this race, and Robinet does make the move. Is Rick going to get the better exit? Who's going to have DRS? It will be Rick, so Robinet is going to be vulnerable again despite the ERS advantage. Here comes Rick down the inside to turn 4, side by side once again. Who's going to get the better exit? Just enough space left for Robinet, and Rick still keeps P3. This is absolutely phenomenal as Amir goes into the back of the AlphaTauri. I don't think there's damage to the Mercedes. No, nothing on my telemetry, so he's absolutely fine, and luckily no harm done. But these 5 cars all still in this train. Lostock is just about keeping up with them. I think he is the slowest car in this train in terms of raw pace, but the DRS and all the cars battling in front of him is allowing him to stay here, and he'll just be hoping for some kind of carnage to ensue. and just stick with them as best he can. As Rick gets a poor exit out of turn 1. This is a huge opportunity for Robinet to make this move done and dusted. Round the outside he goes, before the braking zone. No, not before the braking zone. Rick is back again, down the inside. He's made the move. Very late braking, and that leaves Robinet vulnerable to Amir now further back. But they go on the run to turn 4. Robinet keeps the position from Amir, who is saved back up some ERS, and they now go side by side. Amir all the way round the outside of the AlphaTauri at turn 4. Is he going to make it stick? No, he's not. Robinet slots in front of him. Amir tries to scare him at turn 5, but nothing there from the Mercedes. Robinet keeps the position, and the heat is taken off of Rick just for a few corners there, but the amount of pressure that all of these guys are under is absolutely incredible, and the fact they're all keeping it clean is fantastic. This is by far my favourite ESRL race this season. Absolutely phenomenal stuff from these guys. But Rick, again, he is going to be absolutely gutted about that time penalty, because it is going to cost him any chance at a podium today. As now Robinet round the outside yet again. Here they go, side by side for what seems like the 70th time. But Robinet breaks very late into turn 3, has to go deep, and that's going to open the door for Rick back through. And now Amir has the opportunity. Does he? No, not close enough to take advantage. So Robinet keeps P4, but Amir into the back of him, and I don't think any harm done, but there is front wing damage on my telemetry for Amir. It's a very costly mistake for the Season 1 champion, and that's going to cost him, in terms of performance, a few tenths at least. And he is going to really struggle to stay on the back of Rick and Robinet, and in fact Lostock now is going to smell blood after seeing that collision. I don't know if he saw any bit of wing fly off, but if he did, he's going to know that Amir is going to be a little bit slower than usual. But I think even with that, with TRS, and with all of the battling going on between Rick and Robinet, Amir still could keep on board with these guys and still be in the chance for a podium, even with front wing damage. Look at this, he's still been in a second. He's got the DRS, but he is using the overtake now, and he is down below 10%, so Robinet is on 18%, Rick on 6%. Everyone's running out of ERS except Lostock, who's just sitting back, watching all of this happen, and now Robinet is going to have an opportunity down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. We've got Scott has gone at the final corner. Luckily he's not out of the race, so no chance of a safety car. That 31 of 36 as Robinet tries to go down the inside of Rick, but well defended yet again by the Dutchman, who is going to be, as the laps tick by, increasingly annoyed at himself for getting that penalty, as his dreams of a podium are going to get ever closer if he hadn't have had it. Just going to take a sip of water. Blimey. This race is absolutely phenomenal. Robinet now right behind yet again. A good exit out of turn 1, but he's not going to use any ERS. He's just going to wait. He knows actually that he doesn't have to fight Rick that hard, because he knows about the 3-second penalty, but he does break late into turn 3, and they go side by side once again. Amir now out of the 1 second range. He's got to work hard to stay back in it, but Robinet and Rick fighting will help him out, as Robinet round the outside now into turn 4. Rick down the inside. There's a bit of wheel banging as Rick forces Robinet onto the curb. They're still side by side on the run to turn 5. I think Robinet's got this. He's got the inside line, and Rick keeps the outside line. Maybe Robinet doesn't have this. They're side by side. There's contact. Robinet keeps the car going, but that leaves the door open for Amir and Lostock, and Robinet is not going to be happy about that one. But I mean, it was always going to be, it's always a possibility with everything that's going on. And now Rick will hope that he can build the 3-second gap, because Amir, obviously with that wing damage, but Rick doesn't know that, obviously. But now Lostock is in prime position to take a podium. After I said, again, I do think on raw pace he's the slowest car in this strain, but he's just stayed out of trouble, saved up the ERS, and now here he is in a net P3 as Robinet goes down the inside of Amir as well. They're all taking advantage of there being no ERS Sorry, no front wing, and no, Rick's gone! Oh no! Rick has spun at turn 3, and it's a disaster. He's all the way down to P7, and he is going to be kicking himself. Lap 33 of 36, and he has spun from 3rd place. He could have done it, but no. He could have, I reckon, extended a 3-second gap if these guys had all been fighting, but he loses out. And now Lostock takes prime position after being at the back of this train for what has seemed like the whole race. Lostock is now at the front of it in P3, in control of this, what is now a 3-car train. For the final podium position, but Robinet is going to have the DRS, but there is a slight ERS advantage on the Aston Martin. Amir has absolutely nothing left, and I think he is going to be out of contention for this podium. Time penalty for speed, that's not going to affect him, though he is well clear of these 3, as Robinet on the run to turn 4, not able to make a move, as Nath Clark takes us onto the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. We've got yellow flags. Who's that? It's Trugster that's gone from P9 or P8, and that promotes Avi to P8, the Toe to P9, Womack's into the top 10, and Myra up to P11. He's struggling to get that car going. I think he might be beached. No, he's gotten back going. So Trugster keeping the car going. He'll still score points today, but not as many as he would have hoped. Let's have a quick look at penalties. Rick with 6 seconds now, Avi with 5, so Rick could drop all the way down to P8 or even P9 after all is said and done, which, given that he was in the fight for a podium, and very much legitimately in the fight, he is going to be absolutely gutted with. And now Robinet now, talking of the fight for the podium, penultimate lap, round the outside, he tries at Lostock, but Lostock's having absolutely none of it. And now the run to turn 4, is Robinet going to be able to make a move? He's gonna have to work hard for it, but Lostock keeps him behind and uses the ERS very smartly. He's got 25% left, and he's got to defend for one more lap for what would be an astonishing podium for him. It would be fantastic to see. I think whoever comes 3rd here gets driver of the day, as far as I'm concerned, for this race. Nath Clark gets it for the sprint for sure, but for this race, whoever finishes 3rd gets it. I'm drawing that line right now. Nath Clark takes us on to the final lap. He is well clear. He has dominated this race after that audacious dive bomb on Speed Alcoholic to get him into the lead. But ever since then, he has been in full control, and Speed in full control of 2nd place. As I'm keeping an eye on where Nath is on track, but Lostock and Robinet are going to still battle here all the way to the line, up towards turn 3 on the final lap. Robinet round the outside to try and take P3. Lostock forces him the long way round, but Robinet keeps his foot in. I would cut to Nath Clark, but this is too interesting. Lostock loses the position now. He's got no ERS left. Nath Clark wins the Austrian Grand Prix, a deserved victory. Speed Alcoholic 2nd, but these two are going to continue battling. I don't think Lostock please speak. Lostock has got anything left in the ERS. Nothing left to attack with. The only spot left is the last 2 corners. I think Robinet's got this. He's just about managed to overtake Lostock. Lostock will be gutted. He was so close to a phenomenal podium, but Robinet takes his 3rd podium of the season. P3 for Robinet. What an absolutely incredible battle between 5 drivers. Amir takes P5 after the front wing damage, which he will be disappointed with. It was his own fault. Thibaut P6, Avi P7, Rick finishes a really disappointing P8. He will be gutted with that. The Toe P9, Womax finishes in the top 10, and Myra, I believe, was P11, but we'll go back through. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Rick is absolutely in hysterics in my chat, and I don't blame him. But that 3-second penalty was dooming you anyway, mate. Nath Clark takes the win. It's another double podium for AlphaTauri as well. Side note, I'm not sure, I can't do the maths in my head, but they will be at least very, very close to Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. After this race, a brilliant performance by them, and Ferrari nowhere to be seen today. So, huge result for AlphaTauri, but it's Nath Clark is the story of the day. He will retake the championship lead after NER Ayrton unable to make it today, as he wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Speed Alcoholic in P2, a brilliant drive from him as well, but unable to match the pace of Nath Clark in the end. Robinett finishes on the podium, and Robinett gets my driver of the day. I'm sticking to my guns. I said whoever got P3 would get driver of the day, and that is what's happening. Robinett gets driver of the day, and the final spot on the podium for his third of the season, I believe. Lostock in P4. He'll be gutted to lose out on the podium there, but he drove a brilliant and very clever race, sticking on the back of that train for the entire race, it seemed, and then pouncing when it all went wrong. Amir finishes P5 after that contact damaged his front wing. From my view, it seemed like he went into the back of him, but I mean, I'm sure the stewards will look at it. Thibaut P6, solid result for him. I think he was on his own for much of the race. Avi P7 in the end. He did recover on those soft tyres and set the fastest lap, so an extra point for him as well. Rick will be gutted with P8 after looking like he was in contention. Well, not just looking like, he was very much in contention for that final spot on the podium today. The Toe, P9. Womax finishes out the top 10 with Myra all the way down in P11. Unable to recover, really, after the drive-through from the sprint race, and didn't recover for the entire rest of the weekend. Aces, P12. Ayrton DTS, P13. Neil, Zuber and Scott, the rest of the top 16. Trugster, P17, the last person to finish the race, and then Ted, the only DNF today. Well done, Lifepal. And yeah, so that will be it for the Austrian Grand Prix. What else is there to say? I mean, best race of the season so far for me, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that means Nath Clark retakes the championship lead after P17 at the start of the sprint race. He started 17th after one-shot qualifying, and he got all the way back up to finish in second in the sprint race. In 10 laps he was up to P2, and he never looked like losing it. It was just phenomenal sprint race from Nath Clark. And then in the race, battled with speed for a little bit, but in the end he had the superior pace with an audacious dive bomb into turn 3, but he made it stick, and he went on to comfortably win the race. So he will retake the lead after NER Ayrton unable to make it. So the championship is going to be close again after today. 5 races to go, and Nath Clark and Ayrton are going to be battling all the way to the end this season, I think. It's fantastic to watch. I really hope we have a championship showdown in Abu Dhabi. But yeah, without further ado, I have been Ghost. This has been ESRL, and we'll be back next week for more. See you later, guys.